and then Sergeant Quentin Hayes, Sergeant Gene Tolliver, and Lieutenant Seepie. I just want to let you know before I start that the mayor and I will be able to speak with you today if you have any questions. We'll be limiting the questions to just what we can answer, and we'll let you know when we can answer. Now, due to the fact that we still got some ongoing personnel issues to deal with regard to this matter, the police officers will not be able to speak to you. They will not be able to answer your questions. They are here to support the city. So, anyway, as I mentioned a moment ago, sometime this morning, we received a letter followed up by a press release from the Maricopa County Attorney's Office, and essentially what that information said was that their review board, in their opinion, Officer Shipley did not commit any act that warrants criminal prosecution. They went on in some greater detail in the press release that they released this afternoon, and essentially went into enough detail to describe essentially what they found from their investigation. Now, we, the city of Winslow, are still waiting for a copy of the actual DPS investigation report. We have not received that yet. We have also not received any evidence that was taken by DPS. That includes the body cameras or camera on the officer. So we will not be able to provide you with that information today, but that will be available through, many of you in the media already know that there's a public records request form available on the city's website that you can fill out and provide to us in order to obtain those records. So now, from the city's perspective, the DPS investigation into the shooting is now complete. However, Officer Shipley remains on paid administrative leave pending the outcome of an internal affairs investigation that will be conducted by the Mesa Police Department. In addition to the internal affairs investigation, the City Council last Tuesday, well, I guess a week ago last Tuesday now, I'm sorry, approved the hiring of an interim director to serve after Chief Garnett retires in August. And that's going to be so that the city can conduct a thorough organizational review of the police department. The organizational review will be conducted by the Police Executive Research Forum, or PERF, out of Washington, D.C. And that has been, that contract has been approved by council as well. So the city's position on this matter has been consistent throughout the investigation, that we would respect and abide by the determinations made by the DPS investigation and the county attorney's decision. However, as you can tell, the city is still a long way from being finished with its work and expects the internal affairs investigation and the organizational review to be completed sometime in 2017, but will inform the community as each task is completed. We want to express our appreciation to the Arizona Department of Public Safety, the Maricopa County Attorney, for stepping forward to conduct independent reviews of the incident. We will also continue to work in cooperation with the Mesa Police Department and the community and the Navajo Nation to find solutions of mutual interest. Mayor, do you have anything to add?
No, you said it.
Okay. At this point, we're going to accept a few questions. We'll answer those we can, and we won't answer those we can't.
I have a couple of questions, namely, many of us from the media, particularly us from Channel 12, have obtained through various means of FOI and public record requests several documents that show a series of problems between Officer Shipley and how he interacts with the public, as well as numerous accounts of misbehavior On the force, some of those documents have gone to the chief. The chief, I'm told, and from documents saw, that the chief saw these documents. Are you, or I should say, how concerned are you about vicarious liability and also the negligent retention issue involving Officer Shipley?
Well, I'm going to answer your questions this way, Nancy. What I just told you that we plan to do moving forward, that's all about all of that and everything else, okay? My personal feeling, and was shared by the mayor and council, was that this was a good time to go through a complete organization review so we can tell how well we're doing. And we can identify strengths and weaknesses, and we can make changes moving forward that will make us a better police department. And I think that pretty well answers your questions, maybe not directly with regard to the current situation, but with our department and our community moving forward.
Was Officer Shipley wearing a taser the day of the shooting?
I do not know. That should be included in the DPS report.
I understand that after the incidents, in most cases, officer-involved shootings, there is a standard of practice by which the other officers out at the scene take pictures of the officer who was involved in the shooting so that you can see what they might be wearing or what they have on them. Is that the case? And if it is, did you look at those pictures and can you see if there was a taser?
That was all turned over to the Department of Public Safety, and as I mentioned a moment ago, that's not information that we received back yet. And I'm guessing that you'll have a public records request in there and probably get it before I do.
And then, no disrespect to the chief, seriously, but I have to ask, soon the chief is going to be retiring. He'll be out of the picture. But there are still many officers that remain on the force who have complained about Officer Shipley in the past. How do we know, and what evidence can you offer us that the city will actually bring those people who allowed Shipley to misbehave while out in the field up in the forefront and give them some sort of reprimand?
Again, that will be what council's already approved for us to do. That will be one of the things that we examine.
And until 2017-ish, taxpayers continue to pay Officer Shipley's paid leave, right? Is he being paid?
He is, and that's standard practice, and you'll find that standard practice in most police departments around the United States.
And it's standard for almost a year?
As long as it takes. Okay. Pete?
I'm Pete Henderson. As you are probably aware, I gave you a letter back around May 5th asking, about police oversight, some sort of civilian police oversight. It's been mentioned that maybe the city council could do something along that line. I've done a lot of reading on this, and it is a pretty big task for something like Winslow. Today, coincidentally, I was speaking to the assistant city manager's assistant in Flagstaff. They have a police liaison, and she told me, she took my information, she was going to have the chief over there contact me, and so I could learn about what this process is it appears to be much slimmer, cheaper, easier to do than a full-blown committee or board. So what I'm asking right now is Winslow still planning to institute some sort of third-party oversight review process?
Pete, that's one of the things that's going to be brought up during the organizational review. And if I didn't mention it before, I'll mention it now. Part of that organizational review will include public input. I made sure that that was part of what we were getting in the organizational review, because I know you and others have ideas that you want to share for implementation, possibly in that in the conclusions that they provide to me and provide to the mayor and council. So at the appropriate time, you'll be able to bring that forward, and of course they'll know about it already because you've had it out there for several months.
Yeah. Thank you.
One more time, Nancy.
Okay. Since a number of officers, Lieutenant Aaron, the chief, have been mentioned in numerous reports about the fact that they passed along wrongdoing, is there any current effort by AZ Post or any other organization that you're aware of that's investigating their actions in terms of allowing Shipley to behave in the manner he did?
Not to my knowledge, but in the case of Arizona Post, no.
So AZ Post has told you that they are not investigating the chief and Aaron, for sure?
Arizona Post received a complaint from another party, which they turned over to me because the city manager is in the chain of command. Chain of command was jumped. And so we investigated the allegations made in the complaint letter, had the city attorney also review the document, and we responded to AZ Post. And that's, as far as I know, the end of it.
How many more police officers are there on the Winslow Police Force, like Austin Shipley? To shoot to kill?
Oh, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to comment on a question like that.
Ask questions later.
Okay, we're done. Thank you very much for coming.